From Atlanta, Fulton County.
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Purple color I see. Then you maintain the status.
December 7th, 19...
I'm gonna question a psychopath.
I love you so badly,
I got me.
Crazy and it's so obscene. You gotta know where to hide in the big machine. Say it sounds like TV on the radio, so push that sound. I wanna hear it in stereo. Do what you want, it's the will of the people. Nothing holds you back on that online radio. Ain't no love tonight in this city here.
All right. That was like the fastest into the live show we've ever done.
Yep.
You walked in the apartment, we smoked, and I was like, let's go live because we got a barbecue to go to, buddy.
Exactly. And you prepared. You prepared. It was a little bit of testing and like for maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was done. You're mastering your game, Mr. Pazel.
Hell yeah.
You know. And ladies and gentlemen, to all of our listeners out there, to all the listener out there.
He's actually not live with us. He's going to be in and out. He's a delivery guy like you.
Oh, hey, man.
James Bailey. So he goes, when I'm not on deliveries, I'll pop in.
I mean, I tell you what, I like doing my gig, you know, but just want to apologize again for last week and laying into you over
it's
wrestling.
All right.
I still don't really like it.
It's all good.
But I also watch, again, there's been these biographies of wrestlers.
You watch Booker T.
I've watched, something, I'm going to be honest with you. I've watched all 4 of them that have been out.
You know people don't like Booker T's that much?
Why? Because he didn't have the same arc of everyone else. He actually has a good family.
Calm down.
Because it just, I'm going to be curious.
Let me talk.
I want to hear. I want to hear what it is. I trust your opinion.
Because they jumble around in the problem with WWE is that they rewrite wrestling history.
Big shock.
They
don't give a shit. Go ahead.
They remove aspects of people's careers. Like with Roddy Piper, they completely don't talk about 4 years of his career. They make it seem like he went from this place right to WWE, and that is not the case.
Yeah, there must be a legal thing with the rights or something.
No, because they don't want to. They don't want to talk about certain places. Vince McMahon hates wrestling. Just like you. He hates wrestling and he loves movies. He said, we're not a wrestling company. We're a TV show about a wrestling company.
I mean, it is so cynical. But go ahead. So, yeah. So, Booker T, they just didn't count. Here's what I saw. I saw his days, because his rise in Texas, doing like Texas local wrestling.
Yeah.
When he was G.I. Bro.
Well, they brought that back in WCW too.
Okay.
They brought that back later on in his career, which they probably didn't talk about much in the thing because WCW was rivals to WWF.
Absolutely. They mentioned that briefly. The one thing they say is that I think there was a league that went south that he immediately jumped on or something. He went to with a different and the wrestlers from the league that went south, he went to a different one, and then he didn't give a shit.
He went to so what happened was when WCW got bought by Vince McMahon, he bought his competition.
Yeah.
There were wrestlers that had guaranteed contracts. So Vince only got the contracts that were up. So the wrestlers had a choice. You could wait out your contract and get paid, or you could go to WWE. And a lot of the bigger names chose to just sit home and get paid.
Good for them. You want to know why? They're actually able to talk right now and not just drooling somewhere.
And Booker T,
because they had about 3 years off.
And Booker T was one of the stars that immediately came over, and they had this whole invasion angle. It was great.
Well, yeah, his whole. I will say this much about him: when you look at his stuff, and I know nothing about wrestling, and I don't care to know anything about it, but I find the heel appealing. I have to admit it. I find the heel. And I mean, some heels are, the Sheik, and when I was younger, the Iron Sheik, it's really ham-handed, okay? But when there's truly a good heel who really knows how to push buttons, I find that very entertaining. I got to be honest with you.
I want you to watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode it's about Brian Pillman. He was his whole gimmick was he wanted people to think he was legitimately crazy. So what he would do is he would be nuts in his personal life to really sell the idea of
this guy's a maniac in the ring and stuff. And
let me tell you about his personal life.
I'm sure it was.
No, they don't get into his childhood. That's why I wanted you to.
No, I want to hear.
That's why I wanted you to watch this, because it's different. His childhood was his childhood. They don't even get into it.
I know.
He was with this lady, had a kid, had an affair, had a kid with her. Then through that little family war, so that you have the mistress who's got a kid, and that kid is a wrestler now. His name's Brian Pillman Jr. He's the shit, dude. He's got a mullet and shit.
Yeah.
And then you have his actual wife, who's got 2 other kids.
Oh man.
His mistress was such a fucking white trash hillbilly, and they tortured the wife so hard she killed herself.
Oh my god.
And then
is that actually the truth too?
Yeah.
Actually, oh god.
That's not a storyline.
Where's he from?
Ohio or some shit.
Yeah,
or Kentucky, like the border, like Cincinnati or something like that.
Yeah, it gets southern crazy down there. It gets southern crazy.
Well, yeah.
Like, and, you know, in Cincinnati and like Kentucky, that area, it's southern nuts.
Also, a lot of parallels have been drawn to stand up in professional wrestling, because they say you have to do it forever before you're good. You have to start out making no money doing it, and basically going to wrestling shows and being like, hey, I'll help set up the ring if you let me have a match tonight.
There's a reason why I don't like it, because it hits a little too close to home.
And then the most successful wrestlers figure out a way to be a character, but it's just themselves turned up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you look at even Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was a teammates with Brian Pillman, the guy. So Brian Pillman ends up getting signed to WWF, and he apparently did this wild fucking angle that nobody knew about. So he's a WCW wrestler.
Yeah.
And he starts just being a maniac. And apparently it was all a gimmick to get fired, but also get over so he could get more money from WWF.
Yeah, I believe that.
Then he gets signed by WWF, gets into a serious car accident, shatters his leg.
Oh, so he's fucked.
Doesn't tell anybody how badly he's injured. Just basically says like, yeah, I got into a car accident.
That's so classic America.
So then he comes back and is like, they immediately see like he's 1/3 of what he is.
Yeah.
But he's famous for doing this promo with Steve Austin called Brian Pillman Has a Gun. And this was during the Attitude Era. Because he's the whole I'm a maniac.
Yeah.
I forget what his, but so Steve Austin, they do this angle where Steve Austin's going to Brian Pillman's home in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was actually shot at his house with his real wife.
I believe it, absolutely.
There was 20 minutes of preparation for it. So Steve Austin punches the door open, and Brian Pillman pulls a fucking gun out, points it, and the show ends. And people actually, that this is one of those things I was telling you about last week where people were like, that's not fake.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be. So it made like actual news.
God. Well, it's
so then
like,
check this out. So then a week later, Brian Pillman dies in a hotel room in Minneapolis of a heart attack.
He had a grab. How old was he?
35 or something like that.
He's actually younger than usual.
Let me see.
Because again, the arc, my beef with these biographies, the arc is identical with all of them. That's what I found refreshing about.
Arc, it's their life.
Well, again, because their life is terrible.
What I think you have.
Terrible.
But I think
they have
sometimes
a terrible life.
I feel like because you think wrestling is so phony, I think part of you thinks that some of the things they're saying on these documentaries is fake.
No.
Like
no, not at all. You're misreading it. No, their documentaries are pretty realistic. I can tell it's their actual life. Their life is terrible. And the WWE, they are exploited human beings.
And and
it's like watching a train wreck
and
or
the
a
WWE
car crash.
Ones
It's gross.
Are the fakest because the reason the E ones are better is because it's not totally a WWE production.
Yeah.
They whitewash everything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they're all made by different directors, so they have a different feel to it.
Yeah, different style.
Also, the Booker T one, a lot of things people didn't like is they talk to a lot of people that, like, aside from being fans of Booker T, it's just like, what do you even like? You shouldn't be on this show.
Well, to me, it ended on a positive note. He's got a couple of kids and he got married and he's sort of living a good life.
Did they talk about Stevie Ray, his brother?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, their tag team story. They went to
Harlem Heat?
Well, yeah.
Oh, Harlem Heat ruled, dude. They were like 10-time WCW tag champs.
Well, they also go into Booker T's life.
He was 35. Brian Pillman died in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Oh yeah, that's where the Vikings played. That's where the old Met was, where the Vikings played before they had the Humphrey Dome. Where was he born?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, man.
He played football. He played for the Bengals in '84 and got hurt
in '84.
Yeah, and then so he went.
The Bengals were good then.
Bengals in '84, Bills in '85, but it was off-season practice squad. Then he went to Canada, the Calgary Stampeders, and blew his knee out.
Okay.
So a dude who ended up being like his real manager, like his buddy, like his business guy,
just like said you should do wrestling.
He said there's this place called Stampede Wrestling in Calgary, like you should go. So he went and got stretched by Stu Hart. Do you know about the Stu Hart dungeon?
No, I don't.
So Bret Hart's dad is this dude named Stu Hart. He owned this company called Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
And he, to train the wrestlers, legit has a basement that's wall-to-wall wrestling mats, and he for real stretches people out.
Oh yeah.
There's footage of people going into Bret's house and you hear wrestlers like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And Stu Hart talks like this, and he's like, see what I'm doing right here? You're about to lose consciousness in your red. You're gonna start feeling your sight drift in your red eye a little bit. Now you got 5 seconds.
So he's getting them used to what's going to potentially happen.
Actually happening, because he says if you can survive this, you can survive the actual business.
Yeah. He's tough,
and you'll hear these big wrestlers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because they're putting some pose. It's just like, yeah. I believe that.
It's fucking awesome. So Brian Pillman went through the Stu Hart dungeon.
Okay, so you toughened him up.
Oh, dude,
it made him prepared.
Yeah,
that's why I liked about this Booker T. And I'm sorry to cut you off. With Booker T, there was with his preparation, like they showed like his wrestling coach and stuff, who was some old wrestler from back in the day. Oh, he was a natural, and they show him doing that thing where you go from like basically from like side of the ring to the side of the ring to the side of the ring to the side of the ring. You know,
running the ropes.
Exactly, back and back. And he was like doing
get you bruises on your ribs
and over and doing it like 30 times in a row.
If you ever see a student coming back from their first class of running the ring ropes, it looks like they've been beaten on their ribs. Because some of the WWE is the only company that uses actual ropes wrapped in duct tape. Which hurts more because there's no give. Most companies use steel cables that like stretch.
God. Yeah, so I mean, again, watching his life too, man, like in the 80s, his life, oh my God, he had a bad life. I mean, the guy was knocking off Wendy's. He and a buddy who used to work at Wendy's had a gig that they knocked off Wendy's. They stuck up 27 Wendy's.
Let's see what's going on. Let's see how long we get.
27 Wendy's in Houston.
Jesus.
27 they knocked off before they were caught. And when he got caught, he talks about going to prison was actually the best thing that ever happened to him. Like it straightened his ass. It's one of the people who like prison actually helps. Because he was like young enough to have an impression, he realized I got to get my life in order. My life is pretty fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
So, and he was given $200 when he left the joint, and when he left like those Southern Chain Gang prisons, like, literally, it's like something like Cool Hand Luke. You know, it's like dudes who have like leg bracelets. You know, like
look what we got here, Crow.
Oh, this is yes. Speaking of fucking Hicks, yeah, but it just and he said when he left prison, there was like the guy like a silent man with like the mirrored sunglasses and a gun, just like see you in a little bit, son. Like basically
hilarious.
saying, we're gonna see you again, you know. And then it stuck in his head. And he never went back to.
By the way, longest intro of the show ever.
Sorry, we're still the
15
intro.
Minutes in.
I feel like we're actually just.
I have yet to say. I am Keith Pazel.
Well, guess because we're excited.
This is my podcast.
And I'm the sidekick, Adam Crocious.
Co-host.
Insecure comic.
Sidekick. Insecure comic on Twitter.
I had a good one yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like that one?
The Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
You're a more attractive man than Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I thought that was kind of funny.
That's funny.
You know?
But yeah, KeithPazel.com for the show. Just subscribe to YouTube to watch us live.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
and
fun.
then if you feel generous enough, when you go to KeithPazel.com, you'll notice at the top of the site there's a little tab that says pay-per-view. That is how we fund the show outside of, my own pocket.
No kidding.
My busboy money.
I tell you, you've been working. You've been working a lot this past week.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm an essential worker, bitch.
Yep.
It's the only time failing in comedy worked out for me. I got to get a fucking vaccine early.
Speaking of which, have you actually been going to the Improv a little bit? And going
I went.
or?
I went last week. I've been going every night. I'm easing my way back in now that I'm fully vaxxed. A bunch of my buddies moved to Austin, so I have to like figure out a new. I decided yesterday I'm gonna own being not a loner, but I feel like LA makes you be so. Find a clique and like worm your way into a friend group and pretend to be friends with everybody, and I kind of want to start being a little happening.
Urban Cowboy, we gotta watch out.
I think something is happening here.
But it was I definitely liked Urban Cowboy, no doubt about that. I think it's actually what I like about the movie to me,
because it says your audio and your video stream.
People think it doesn't. I mean, I know friends. Chad Briggs says he likes Urban Cowboy because he's from Houston and the movie's filmed in Houston. And he says, but there's no story to it. And to me, there's a total story to it. It's like they meet. They get married in a hurry. They realize it's a mistake because they're young, but they met at this bar.
What is it? What is this? The story of John Mulaney and Olivia Munn? Jesus Christ.
Well, no, it's the story of so many idiots, which again,
Kat Dennings and Andrew WK got hitched.
I wish I could have been that. I know people, my best friend from college, who was a brother to this day. I've known him for 33 years, 1988. We met. Good friend of mine. He got married his wife after dating for 8 days. After 8 days, they got married, and they had a kid. I mean, she wasn't knocked up. I mean, they had a kid a couple years later. They were married for 4.5 years. The last 2 years of their marriage was really bad. It was sheer hell. They did
sheer
not,
hell, starring Daryl Hannah.
But I always respected the fact that someone could actually do that. Could just say, okay, I'm going to just take the leap like that, and I could never do that. That felt so exceedingly emotional to me, but I kind of respect it in a way, because I always thought what happened there is what happens. You get divorced. Sort of like the story of Kyle Kinane bringing his girlfriend around to the Red Lion in 2000. And his girlfriend was stolen by a guy I'm still friends with to this day, who ran the open mic.
We're back.
Who ran the open mic. Kyle Kinane was devastated. I think it was his very first girlfriend, And that guy married this woman after 4 months of dating, and everyone knew. They had their reception at an open mic.
That's wild.
People did stand up there. That's when my buddy of mine told the priest to fuck off on stage.
That's hilarious.
So I'll
tell you what.
They got divorced. How long did their marriage last? 1 year and 4 months.
Not bad for a quickie.
Yeah, that's a good.
You learn your lesson.
That's a serious girlfriend.
I feel like that's a marriage where like this is our learning marriage.
Exactly. Get the first one out of the way.
We're both learning.
Yeah. Which I mean,
now people get that out of the way. I feel like people are so melodramatic. You get those learning marriages out of the way in like middle school.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew people that like had pregnancy scares in 7th grade where you're like, oh, we're ready for life. We're ready for life.
Yeah, I remember people getting sexually active in the 7th grade. I was a square dude. I was not getting, I was behind the curve. I remember Doug Moomaw.
What a great name. Doug Moomaw.
Doug Moomaw, who was a totally good basketball player, but also smoked in like the 7th grade. And then it was him, and it was Katie Botsworth. What was the woman's name?
Katie Bots the door.
That he ended up nailing it. And I guess I think he left it in
He ended up nailing, man.
When he was 12, he's busting one when he's 12 years old. You gotta admit that's too young. You should not be fucking when you're 12.
No.
You really, honestly,
when you're how old?
When you're 12.
I thought you said 20. I was like, oh yeah.
No. I was frankly, I was 20 when I lost it, and I felt like an old man. And I look back in retrospect, and I'm like, it's perfectly fine. There's no embarrassment. It's so hilarious. It felt like such a big deal. Like, God, what's my fucking problem? Everyone's getting laid. And then when I finally got laid, I was like, okay, this is cool. I met my first girlfriend, and I worked out all of my sexual frustration.
Dude.
And those thoughts were just gone, that was a liberating feeling.
I'm going to do a test. Do you want to know what I think happened?
What do I think?
That slight bit of music I played. God. I think that's what caught it.
For like 1 second.
I'm going back to Urban Cowboy on mute, and we're gonna see if if it goes back to yellow.
So this is post-sex for Deborah. Well, and I never saw that documentary. It was basically about aging women in Hollywood, correct? Isn't that what the point
I think
of it
so.
was?
I didn't see it either, but I just remember being like, "Who the fuck is Deborah Winger?"
Oh, Deborah Winger was again, and that's the sad. She was a leading woman in the 80s. Very much. Her last movie, I think, true last movie was a Billy Crystal, like Blame It on Paris. Was a Billy Crystal movie, like in 1994, 96 maybe, where she was like a leading woman. Now she's made a comeback, and because she's a totally good actor.
Winger?
Yeah,
she's up there with like Jennifer Jason Leigh of like classic actresses.
Well, it's funny you think that's God. I am old.
Flashdance.
Well, that's Jennifer Beals.
Oh yeah, but Jennifer Jason Leigh I know from what was her big thing is like early 90s, 80s.
Well, early 80s was Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes,
that's my introduction.
That's her.
But she did a bunch of stuff in the 80s. She did the movie Rush with Jason Patrick, which was a very dark, like drug movie in 1990. I remember thinking
the original
that was
Crash where they fucking get into car accidents.
Yeah. That's such a David Cronenberg plot line. I'm a Cronenberg fan. I've read his biography. Cronenberg, for those who don't know, did the remake of The Fly.
Twin Peaks?
He did, no, that was David Lynch.
He did Videodrome.
He did Videodrome, which to this day, to me,
starring Debbie Harry
and James
Debbie
Woods.
Harry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
one
of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my. Would you say Videodrome's weird?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's a bizarre movie. It's 40 years old, and I'm telling you, you're gonna watch it and be like, this is a fucking.
That's
weird
such
movie.
a classic. You see a hot girl noise.
Oh yeah.
Guys
it's
make
Springer
cum
people,
faces.
you know.
Like they're in pain. Ugh. You ever see the fist bite?
When I what are you, Italian? Well, when I have like, hey, yo bambini, we'll make a bambini. But when I have my O, Keith, I'm going to give a little more information to the audience. I know you're waiting for bated breath to me to talk about my horrific
masturbated breath.
No, my with bated breath. I discover God. I discover religion when I have my O. I say God. Oh my God, Jesus.
Oh my God,
Jesus. Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. That's funny. Here we go.
And I am so not religious. Oh my God.
Look at this. We got Hogan's Heroes, a show that I'm sure is offensive today.
I would like to ask and get an honest response from a woman when a guy has his O and he discovers religion. That's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fuck yeah.
Especially if you do it like that.
It's probably like, oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Oh Sal.
Oh, Jesus.
Sal. You do your
Sal,
Ray Lewis impression.
I'm having my O, Sal. Sal, you know it's my O. We got to be on. We're going to this grill out, man. We're getting our funny going because it's going to be a comedian party, which I sometimes like and often don't.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit. So some Hogan's big things happened in comedy.
What happened?
So do you know who Tony Hinchcliffe is?
I've heard of that name, and I ran out of the energy after 3.5 seconds of looking up his name. So, what did he do? What did he do?
Let me tell you who he is first. He's a Joe. He might be one of the two like original Joe Rogan disciples. So you had Brody Stevens, rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
And then
Stevens is good.
And then Tony was this young kid who was like a roast comic who Joe Rogan took a liking to, put him on his show. Now he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I want to start this story by saying I hate Tony Hinchcliffe's guts.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally. Everything I've been near or heard is not good. He doesn't seem like a nice guy. This has nothing to do with comedy. I respect everybody's hustle.
Yeah.
Out there, if anybody's listening thinking I'm hating on someone's groove.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I agree with you.
He's one of those. He sells out fucking arenas. Wow. Whatever. Like, it's not my thing. I've learned out here to say not to say someone sucks. Because he's successful. He obviously doesn't suck to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not my thing. Yeah. And I've heard bad stories about how it's cheating allegations of just like smarmy fucking guy. And he looks like a horse.
How old is he?
It's my age, 34, 35, 36.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Is he from out here?
He's from Ohio. He's from fucking the Columbus or Cincinnati or some shit.
Ohio is such an asshole of a state.
So it lives in Austin now with Joe Rogan. And there was this comic named Pang Dang. Now, this is going to be an unfolding story. So what I'm going to tell you is going to be the original reaction, and then I'm going to tell you throughout the week how context got laid on it. I still hate Tony Hinchcliffe.
Sure.
So a clip came out of this comic named Pang Dang, and he goes, I got to bring Tony Hinchcliffe on stage last week, and this is what he said about me. So you see Tony Hinchcliffe come on stage and go, I'm going to say this once and then we'll say C word after that. He's going to say, give it up for that fucking little chink that just went up. And just goes, you little race baiters. You like that? So that made it seem like, what the fuck, dude? And all these comics were like, fucking Pang's my friend. Fuck Tony Hinchcliffe. I regret ever working with him. And I hate Tony. So I was just like, this is fun watching him get his fucking due. Because he's such an overconfident man.
Yeah.
I made a joke on social media. I said, Tony Hinchcliffe's Corvette has a vanity plate that says I roast, because it does. How lame is that?
God.
I go,
that's his vanity plate?
Yeah. I go more like I racist. That was my fucking thing.
That's funny.
That's not a take.
That's funny.
It's just a small little knock joke.
That's funny. Yeah. I like it.
So throughout the week, another comedian, Ari Shafir,
I heard of that kid.
he releases the full set of Pang's set and Tony's set, just to give you full context. So what happened, the full story of what happened is Pang did a kind of pandering set where he was going up basically saying like,
of course
why do you guys hate Asians? You know, we like your meatballs. Basically doing like, I don't understand why you guys hate us. We like your stuff. Be nice to us. Like basically that was the point, overarching point of his set.
Yeah.
So Tony, being a douche, he's one of these edgelord guys who like sees an opportunity to be edgy. So recognizing his very like pro, like please like Asians, which is a good, that's fine. I'm not against that.
Of course.
He went up and did the opposite. Look at that little fucking, like, give it up for that fucking chink. I can't believe you guys.
I thought he was say Chinaman, which would be offensive, but chink is like, whoa, dude.
So that at least to me, like I was like, well, at least he's not a raging fucking racist.
Yeah.
Also another layer, him and Pang are friends. Tony's given Pang a lot of opportunities. Every time he goes to Austin, he gives him stage time. Probably gave him. So that was another thing where I was like, why would you say that to someone you don't know? That was my original, like, fuck this guy about it. But then I find out they're friends. You find out the full context of the set. And then you're like, well, I hate that I got to be on his side for this. Because I'm sorry, but if you're a comic, you have to be on Tony's side. Whether you hate his guts like I do and think he's smarmy, he should be allowed to go on stage and say what he said. How do you feel about stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I go up to, I definitely feel like, I mean, times have changed, certainly. But, you know, when I was doing stand-up, you know, race stuff was talked about a lot. Race, that was deemed a very edgy sort of thing. Race, homophobia, sexism, those topics were talked about a lot. So one of the things I'm annoyed by with this current generation is they think they're the first one to actually like discuss it. No, you're discovering it for the first time, so it feels very fresh and new to you. Oh my God, people say stuff. To me, it's like, you know, if you go up there and if it's funny, if you can make it funny, if you can make it funny,
the audience laughed.
You should pretty much say whatever you want to say.
And that's another thing too. People were like, "Oh, these racists laughing at it," and it was like, no, because they had the full context of what happened, and that's why they laughed too. Because Pang killed, and part of Tony's of Tony's venom is him kind of being mad that like hack shit killed. That like. Basically, if you take out all the slurry part of it, he basically was going up being like, I can't believe you guys laughed at that soft bullshit. You know, and then they were like, oh yeah, you're right. He kind of like, you know, and what a contrast to go up. But I even told Larry, I go, he could have done that without saying the C word. If he didn't say that, you would have never heard about it.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Because chink's a harsh word. This reminds me.
Also, it's harsh, but I want to offer this up soft because I don't say racial slurs. I'm a white guy. I can't have any really opinion on it. Yeah. But someone told me yesterday, they were like, you know, is that word really like the N word now?
I don't think it's that bad, but that hard K, it's pretty tough. Yeah. It's up there with kike.
Dude, there's a bike shop called Kike's Bikes, and I have such a hard time not saying Kike's Bikes.
Dude, I watched this week about 20 minutes of have you seen the Nixon in his own words documentary?
No.
It is. I watched like 20 minutes of it. I mean, it's
talking politics, going to the news.
Exactly.
That's how we do it here.
Exactly. But so it's all of his, like a lot of his tapes, not all of them, but a select few of his tapes of him talking to his staff, Halderman, Ehrlichman, Henry Kissinger, Alexander Haig. There's like 10 to 13 figures that I recall from my childhood because a lot of these same people were in Reagan's White House. And it's them talking together. And I'm not lying. Richard Nixon Like he's Hitler-like.
Oh, dude.
In his resentment and hatred towards the Jews.
It's
Hitler-like.
About the fucking Washington Post when they released the fucking Pentagon Papers or whatever.
When they had the deep throat. And, with Watergate.
And
Pentagon
you
Papers
hear you hear footage in his office of just like, "I'm gonna burn this fucking Jew paper to the ground."
Dude, it's like you watch.
He was like, "No reporters from the Washington Post is ever allowed in the White House."
Oh yeah, and the whole also when he's being interviewed, he's like, Daniel Ellsberg, who was an ex-Marine, I might add, and a Marine I think for 8 years or 12 years, and he worked for the Rand Corporation, which is a big like defense studies, a very important kind of group, been around for years, and he basically just he released the Pentagon Papers, which were top secret papers, to the New York Times in 1971, basically talking about a lot of the things that were being done there that were just horrific, like not good stuff, the real intimate policy decisions. And Nixon was apoplectic about that. He was apoplectic. The guy's name was Daniel Ellsberg. Well, needless to say, I mean, it was just like, we got ourselves he dropped the kike bomb once. I was like, holy he was, and
KB
and Kissinger's
got a KB.
The chosen people, Kissinger is the chosen people. Hey, we got the Israeli thing going on.
We got the news on, Bubba.
It was just, I'm not lying, Keith. I probably watched 6 different segments. He talked about the Jews, every single one. It wasn't like one or two things. It was
Crow. We got nerd movie news breaking right here.
Oh, what's going on?
Zack Snyder says the story's figured out for a Justice League 2 and 3.
Of course, it's been figured out because they know our demand is inelastic. And
also,
we'll just feed you a few kernels in the first one that's 4 hours long.
Mighty Matt Duffy of the Chicago Cubs, the man looks like a broomstick with a batting helmet on, has hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 5th. The Cubs take a 7-6 lead over the Tigers. Look, you're getting breaking news everywhere on this show.
What's the record?
The Cubs, they're 18-19, bunch of bullshit. The Cardinals are 23-15. They're dominating the division. I don't think the Cubs are going to make the playoffs this year, Crow.
Yeah,
I think they're going to blow it up at the All-Star break.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but I don't care because the Bears have Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, that's going to keep you going.
Have you seen Minnesota rookie camps? Have you looked at any footage from the mini camp?
I really haven't because it's just, I'll wait when we get closer.
I looked at, they had a good comparison. They had the first Mitch Trubisky report versus the first fucking Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Bro, it is night. And Trubisky fumbled his first snap.
Yeah.
That he ever took in practice.
Yep.
And they said Fields was confident, crisp. Even in his interview, he said, I want to just learn how to command the huddle, how to take. He understands the steps he has to take.
Dude.
They said 2 or 3 throws all practice were bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, he was zipping it in. They said he's accurate. Yeah. They were very impressed. And then they showed the Mitch Trubisky one, and it was like,
they were like, uh-oh.
They were like, they were like, and we're putting the caveat, this was against rookies. This is rookie mini camp.
Yeah.
This is with and against rookies. They go, but if you're looking at the 2 first reports, they got a better player.
Yeah. Fields, I'm telling you, when I watched, leading up to the draft, I think I told you, I watched this ESPN, which is interesting, the programming on ESPN, how they've had to change their palette because it's a younger viewing audience and they've lost so much market share. But they had this good segment that was pretty smart where they went, the 5 main quarterbacks that were taken, Trey Lance and Zach Wilson and Fields. They did a lot of backstory of just, where they're from, their high school situation, what they were in college. And it's like a 20-minute deep dive, which I think that's pretty good for TV. You're getting into it, With Fields, I was like, I like this guy. I think he's been raised to do this since he was 5 years old. His father is an Atlanta police officer, so he's a hard ass, and it's like the discipline is fundamental. Like the discipline has been put in place since day one.
Right.
So I think he's just. What's the story behind why did he leave Georgia? Why did he transfer from Georgia?
Because he wasn't going to start.
Oh,
I think because they had Fromm, and I think they were in love with Jake Fromm. Why the fuck?
Or one of those Fromms.
They show his few clips for Georgia. He was the same Justin Fields.
I know, no, absolutely.
But here's the little loophole he got around. Check this shit out. He transferred to Ohio State, and usually you lose a year of eligibility. Exactly. You have to get redshirted for a year.
Yep.
He worked this thing. Apparently he played baseball too at Georgia.
Yeah.
And apparently someone called him the N-word on the baseball team, and that's kind of part of the reason why he left Georgia.
Interesting.
There's a clause that says if something unforeseen happens that makes you want to leave the school, you don't have to sit for the year. So they used that clause, and he was able to play his full sophomore year for Ohio State, and that was the year he went 33-1.
Once again, our woke culture lets him out of the way. Actually, that year off is a ridiculous rule to begin with. That also
shows how intelligent he is to know that, like, oh, we can work this in here.
I'm telling you,
that's a good business decision.
And a lot of times that military background, you're actually scared of the children because they're insane, because none of their emotional needs were met. But when they interviewed his father and him, I mean, you could tell his father was very much spoke with a very strong tone. But I was like, no, I'm telling you, he's got the mental makeup. He's tough. And he's smart, and
he's black,
and that's what matters. I'm telling you,
matters in the NFL.
All of their crap too about great pass, which he has that ability and he can move, and he's going to take some licks, obviously. But I'm telling you, when you need to get tough yardage in a late game in November and December, he is going to get you the first down. If you have to get 4 yards, he will get you 4.5. Like
you are the ones who are the ball lickers.
I'm telling you, no, I mean, I'm not. Listen.
Oh yeah, I know.
I think he's. Listen, I don't want the Bears to be good. It annoys me when the Chicago Bears are good. Okay,
I know you're like ever the pessimist when it comes to the development. I'm telling you, dude, Kellen Mond is going to be awesome. He was Chris Sims' number 4 quarterback. He had him over Fields. He was saying all year, I don't understand what people don't see in Kellen Mond. He was like, even when you talk about, he goes, take the system aside. He goes, when you look at the throws that he had to make into tight windows, he goes, all I saw was him firing fucking lasers into tight windows.
He does have a good arm.
He was
There's
like,
no doubt about
he
that.
was like, take away all the numbers. He goes, this guy has the skills to play quarterback in the NFL.
My main concern, because the biggest leap for a quarterback to go
51% completion percentage.
It was 61%. So it improved all of his 4 years, and he played all 4 years. So he's been seasoned. It ain't like Tannehill, who was a quarterback at Texas A&M, who was a converted wide receiver, who I think is actually an effective enough NFL quarterback. The Titans have salvaged his career, and he's been decent. Joe McMahon is a big fan of Tannehill. He thinks he's a decent quarterback. He just was on some bad teams. So I think but man, when you're only completing 61% of your passes in the SEC, which is the best college football conference, so you're facing NFL talent on the other side. Boy, I don't know. This ain't 1982 when Steve Bartkowski is going to complete 57% of his passes and people will be awestruck. When you watch the quarterback play, I've been watching a bunch of playoff games, the good teams from
playoffs.
In the early 80s. I've been watching playoff games. It literally, the quarterbacks, no one's accurate. They're overthrowing people and like missing people by a lot. So the accuracy now, it's so geometric and things are so thought out and stuff that the angles and stuff, you have very tight windows, and it's like that accuracy. Now, I don't really know what Mahomes' completion percentage was, but the fact is Mahomes played on a dog shit team and he had to single-handedly try to win games, whereas Mond, right. I mean, Texas A&M is a pretty good program. They're a tough program.
Mond might sit for 2 years.
I want him to sit for 2. I want him to just mature and actually get, and then goodbye, robot Christian.
Dude, here's how much the NFL forces storylines.
They're so average.
Here's how much
the Vikings are so painfully average.
Here's how much the NFL forces storylines.
Yeah.
Week 1 is Bears versus Rams. They want Justin Fields to be the starter. They didn't make that schedule being like Andy Dalton versus Matt Stafford. No, it's Justin Fields in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Fields.
He's going to start week 1.
At the latest, he'll be starting week 4. At the latest.
I mean, if you listen to the coaches, it ain't going to be till next year.
That's all bullshit. They're going to get him in some preseason games.
Here's Matt Nagy, with his fucking with his Pennsylvania accent. I was there. We saw what Pat Mahomes. It's different. I understand that, but the value that Pat had sitting for a year and just understanding a professional, it's not the same, but it's the same. And so we want to have a plan in place for Justin.
Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. Maybe I'm totally wrong on this. I just watched one 20-minute segment on ESPN, but here's my judgment on that, because I get the idea of letting a guy wait and mature. Aaron Rodgers matured. That
also,
was a great decision.
The Chiefs had been to 2 AFC title games in a row. They had legit shit riding on it. The Bears got nothing to lose. You put him in there. Pat Mahomes probably could have played his whole rookie year.
I didn't think about
Patrick Mahomes probably could have played his whole rookie year.
They had Alex Smith, who was a competent quarterback.
Who was a better quarterback than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that. That's why when he says, it's not the same, but it's he added the I know it's not the same, because when he first said that, he was like, I experienced the same thing in Kansas City with Mahomes. And everybody was like, bro, this team ain't the 2017 Chiefs.
It's also, I think another thing too is, I think when you bring a young quarterback along too soon and they're not good right away, I think some people fold and they never really recover.
I don't think Fields will fold, though.
Fields is not that guy. Fields
It'll make
is
him
tough.
better.
I think he may have some missteps, but I bet you something, he's going to learn from that.
And what I think people are
fucking
underestimating is
he's tough.
Mitch got off on the wrong foot immediately. Before he took a down, before he took a down though, before he took a snap, the first appearance he ever made was at a Blackhawks game, and they booed him. And apparently they said he never really recovered from that. That like fucked with his psyche.
Yeah, he was.
Fields is coming in with universal love, so I feel like if he makes mistakes, we'll be like, oh, that's okay. But when Mitch made mistakes, we were like, what we fucking should have never drafted you.
Because they traded up for him to the second overall pick is a high pick. Yeah. And they swung and missed. But you know something? I think Fields
he's our Steve Grogan.
Fields is going to be good. I believe in him. I do. It's just, at least they'll be good in a legitimate way. That 06 fucking team of the Bears, those sneak
Devin
thieves
Hester got us in there.
Who would hold you up and like, we'll just rip the ball away with Lance Briggs, and Urlacher. They were a bunch of sneak thieves coming into your bedroom by cover of night and stealing your pocket watches. I couldn't stand that.
I got to tell you, just from the camera shots on this softball game, I do not trust these coaches around these gals. But I do trust that these girls could fucking headlock these fucking old dudes.
Well, they'd certainly give you a fight, Plus, let's be honest with you,
coach.
Is softball? What percentage of softball players are lesbians?
Hey Gail, coach is sexually assaulting me.
What should I do?
We gonna put up with that, girls? Dude, that got my dick hard. So Justin Fields was doing his interview before practice, and before every word, he was doing that black dude fist pump, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's ready to fucking play ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try to be like, but at the same time, here's the only concern I have with that. Can I analyze it? Only concern, because I think he's confident. I think he's tough. I always think injuries happen with overexertion.
He cracked his ribs. He cracked his ribs in the fucking Sugar Bowl
and still played.
Threw 4 touchdowns after that.
Against the Clemson Tigers, who are a great cop. He's tough.
Also, do you know what he said?
He's tough.
So they asked him,
but don't fuck your knee up,
man. They said, what's your hopes of starting? And he goes, I know they got a plan and they want to take it easy with my development, which I understand. But he goes, honestly, though, I'm shooting for a starting position. He goes, I feel like if you're on this team and you're not striving to be a starter, why are you here?
Yeah. Hey.
And I was just like, fuck yeah.
No,
dude.
I know. It's like, you know what that is? That's called accountability. That's holding people accountable to a high standard. It's just saying, no, everyone has to give it their absolute maximum effort.
And then he said, when he was like, I just want to learn how to command the pocket and command the huddle. And he said, when I'm in there, they know I'm leading the offense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will be curious. Again, he's saying those tough things, but for some reason, when he says it, I actually believe it. A lot of guys say that crap, and you're like, he's full of shit.
Here's how millennial this season is, and Gen Z. So they'd ask Nagy, we got him in his bedroom, taking video with his phone, yelling out snap counts, because I guess he was like in college, they either just kicked their leg or clapped. There's no like hard count. In college. Yeah. So we got him on his phone, sending us videos. This motherfucker's in his bedroom with his iPhone going, Hot Tuesday, Rooster.
Hey, man, that's what it is now. I mean, see, that's why I actually like the technology.
It's only because of COVID.
See, I actually respect that technology. What I don't respect is people losing their identity on it and actually thinking that the posts matter. So so be excited. Be excited about Fields. You'll be talking about him at the barbecue. I know that much. But so anyway, we're kind of bouncing around here. Can we go over to Urban Cowboy again?
Oh,
possibly.
Sure.
Again, Urban Cowboy. I was saying earlier in the show.
Well, anyway, so it's probably going to happen earlier for me.
I know.
I like it, but I'm never going to be the one to initiate sex.
Oh man!
If you want to have sex, I will. Yeah. But but like you gotta like say something. I'm the weird guy where like just tell me you want to fuck. Like I don't want to have to do the like where I just come behind you and start fucking smelling your ear or something like that.
I am that guy. I'm very much I very much initiate.
I think I'm a little too consensual. Like I'm very but just like, do you want to have sex? Like let's do it.
Yeah. Well, to me, but after a while, that gets old after a while, you know, for myself, because it's like you got to initiate a little bit yourself too, unless you're just not attracted to me. I don't feel attractive then when you're not initiating. But early on, I'm definitely like, okay, we are gonna hump. This is gonna happen.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Those early
I think
like
there's
6
kind of
months,
a point of when you know your relationship is getting kind of serious, of when you're just like, like. You know,
we don't necessarily have to fuck right now.
It's fine.
Yeah, that initial, for me, with the few girlfriends I've had, it takes about 6 months to get to that point. The first 6 months, we are fucking every single time together, and usually multiple times. Although I tell you now, multiple times, it don't happen, man. It's one and done for Adam Crocious now.
Crow had Moderna Wood the other day.
You know, I had my second shot on Wednesday. Okay, went out and golfed 18 and golfed poorly.
By the way, since where you said you wanted to do like a shorter episode, do you want to take a break still, or do you?
We probably should take one right now. Though,
okay, so we're at 53 minutes.
Yeah. What time is it right now?
It is 3:32.
Yeah, the second half's gonna be short, man. Well, you know, let's just plow through because we should leave by like a little before 4 because I want to make sure I don't get a ticket.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I was just talking about my incredible sex life. I know you're also interested, or lack thereof. But I had my second Moderna shot on Wednesday. Golfed 18, so I walked 6 miles. I tell you something, man. I felt like shitty on Thursday. I woke up with fucking serious wood, though, on Friday. So I had 10 hours of sleep. I slept all the way through. My incontinence didn't take over, you know? So I woke up with the bone, man. I was ecstatic, man. I felt great.
That's hilarious.
That's what gets me excited.
Since we're plowing through, let's get into the news, and we have movement in the TV leagues.
Sure.
We've got more solidified numbers.
Let's do it.
Big things are happening.
Absolutely.
So do you want to do news first, or do you want to do the league?
News.
Cool. We need to have fucking news. Here we go. So, Gossip Girl reboot is happening.
I never watched the first one.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah,
so here's what I'm getting eye rolly with. It's almost not becoming special, the like diverse cast.
Yeah.
Like you look at this cast, it's like a bald chick. It's overly diverse.
It's so fucking ham-handed.
Their first look,
it's so ham-handed. Just checking a box off. You still got to produce quality. It's still got to be good, you know?
So let me see if very diverse cast. They're all probably very shaken and beaten, eating disorders, cutters, fucking real shit.
It's
completely unlike the Upper East Side of New York, probably.
Although there probably is an angle of that. There's a lot of fuck-ups
now
there
is. Like what Larry was saying was that like now those people like our age are having kids, so this is kind of like almost like a future in present time of like, this is eventually what the kids on the Upper East Side of New York, they're going to be weird, multiracial, fucking broken children that have millions of dollars.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. God, the arc is, I'm telling you.
Which is great. I'm not saying that's bad.
Yeah.
But I'm saying stop advertising it as this. I feel like it's been 5 years of, you know, it's diversified. Hollywood's diversified. Not as much as it could be.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's almost hack to even say like a diverse cast. Just say a cast.
Yeah.
We know it's diverse.
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't have to get the points anymore.
Again, the virtue signaling of
you
that.
don't have to get the points anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We got it.
Yeah.
It's going to be the gayest show ever.
Yeah. It's just so... I don't know. I don't know what to think about Hollywood right now. It's turned into. I've been watching Bill Maher, you know, and he's such an old crank.
But he got COVID. Did you see that?
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned because his show wasn't.
That made me laugh because people hate him so much. Bill Maher got COVID. They made it seem like he was a COVID denier and like, he's not a COVID denier.
No, not at all.
You just don't like him, so you want him to die of COVID.
Yeah, it is.
It was a fuck.
Well, again, it's what's so hilarious. It's just entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, it's taken so seriously. And I realize you want to create quality. I realize you want to do good things as well. You should. You should strive and work hard for that. But at the end of the day, it's just entertainment. This is the frosting on the cake. It's not the cake. People's lives, the actual economy, the actual that's the cake. That's people. That's reality. This is entertainment. You know, don't take it. You can't have a real conversation.
If he said that to me, I would be like, "Is there ever a time in your life when you were a child where you think you'd be a human being who would say that to another person?" Are you proud that you say the business to people? You fucking alcoholic. I watched you piss your pants on stage at the Laugh Factory.
And that's part of the reason why I don't get pissed off, because I'm just like, your life, you're having a hard time holding it together. And frankly, honestly, this is the truth. And this is me saying that. And I can be sarcastic. As you know, I can be a sarcastic.
Yeah.
I have empathy for him. I honestly have empathy for someone, because I'm just like, for some reason, it's just, I don't know why.
If I would be like,
why, because he actually acknowledges me.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and call in a bomb threat on this conversation and
just see what happens.
Here.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you're wrestling with some demons when you're doing shit like that.
Under federal investigation, cock.
Wow. Wow. I know CJ's opening for him. They're starting out in Cincinnati of all places. But anyway, okay, more news.
Let's see. We covered the Ellen thing. That's really it besides juicy stuff. Do you want to get into This Week in TV here? Do you want to see get into the prime table movement? Of the TV league?
Yeah.
So we figured out new numbers. So I was reading an article about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they said, I'll pull up the numbers right here. 495 million watch minutes were on Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they said that is equivalent to 9.9 million accounts. So that is the basis number of streaming. That is our base number.
Yeah.
So I then extrapolated it to, 500 million watch minutes is probably 10 million accounts.
Yeah.
It's an extra 100,000 or something like that. So then that means for every for every 100 million watch minutes, that's 2 million accounts that viewed that show. Wow. So I added that. Now that's our base number.
Jesus.
Of the streaming numbers.
Like,
so a lot of the shows went down. NCIS, because I had them at 23 million more.
Yeah.
So the new standings, The Voice has regained number one. The Voice is going to win the league. It's fucking Bayern Munich. This is a juggernaut that we all have to work to defeat.
Yeah.
NCIS number 2, 22 million, down from 31. So there was quite an adjustment.
Sure.
Grey's Anatomy number 3, 20.91 million. Falcon and Winter Soldier has jumped. This is the kind of shit we're talking about. This show didn't exist earlier this year, and now it's number 4 in the top league of television.
What's good about that show that made
it's
it
Marvel? It's a Marvel superhero show,
and it's pretty well produced. I assume
16.55 million Netflix accounts.
It's got to be well produced.
Watch that every week.
Wow, Jesus.
And I think it's 845 million watch minutes. It's by far the most streamed show on TV.
Wow. Okay.
What else here?
That and Keith Bezos' podcast.
Yes, baby.
Exactly.
A Masked Singer. And then it's all kind of back to where the Amazon show has 12.7 million accounts, but then it's all kind of standard fare. Nothing really changed after that. But
TV is such a wasteland.
The Voice regaining the league really is the story here, and then the rise of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I guess.
Yeah.
But the season's almost over. I think we can just put it in the bag for The Voice.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone getting more than 31 million. But they're kind of, I'm calling financial fair play though. You can't be doing, I almost disqualified it because it's on 2 nights a week.
I tell you what, the thing about The Voice relative to The Masked Singer is truly, if you're a performer doing that, that's like lower than doing Love Boat when I was a kid growing up. You know what I mean? Like, you were I mean, you're literally a D-list, but you're not a D-list celebrity. D-list celebrity.
More like gay list.
You know, it's just like, it's so like to do that, to say, okay, Bobby Brown was one of them. I know that. It's like to say, okay, I'm going to get some, views on this, and I'm going to make some money. And okay, so I'm going to maintain a certain degree of relevance. It's like, I find that kind of sad for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not like whatever. I wouldn't take the money. Of course I would.
Oh, take the money and run.
Oh, I have integrity. That whole thing. I was so into I'm going to have integrity. My integrity got me nothing.
Speaking of that, I wanted to add something to the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff.
Sure.
Because there's this. and I kind of went back and forth with Jeff Eggleston about this because we were talking about it. I'm kind of sick of the idea that, and this isn't a branch of the TJ thing, I'm sick of the idea that if you're not a super accomplished comedian, you can't have an opinion about stuff.
Oh,
because that seemed to be the Tony Hinchcliffe thing. Is a lot of people defending him were like, it's real funny seeing comics without a TV credit or without a fan base,
and they turn it like you're
anything
jealous,
about this.
It's
like of just like, well, you're not actually in. Like how he was saying, like, well, you're not actually in show business, so you can't say anything about Tony Hinchcliffe. Well, yes, I can.
Yeah. No,
I've been doing comedy for a fucking decade.
Yeah.
I've done the road.
Yeah.
I've put in the work.
Yeah.
I've done as much stage time as anybody who's done it for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I can judge whether something I feel like is okay or not to say on stage.
Of course you can. I don't even think about that.
I think you should be. But there was this tone of like, you know what? If you're not this, and this, you really can't say anything about this. And it was like, how fucking aren't you the free speech man?
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's about. I don't know. I so thoroughly don't get caught up in that anymore, and I'm so proud of myself. Also, I haven't done stand-up in 14 months.
There you go.
I have to get up on stage again eventually. But I don't know. I don't have the time for it. It's too petty for me to get caught up in that. I feel like time is. I have more days behind me than in front of me. I want to make the days in front of me actually mean something and have some direction. I mean, I actually feel pretty good about that. Got my first rejection.
Let's get
got my first pass. For those of you who don't know, sent my script out to 4 different production companies. And it was passed on by the woman who produced the show Virgin River, Roma Roth.
Oh, is that the Netflix show?
Yeah, the Netflix show.
Well, she does soft shit. Your show's probably a little too hardcore for her.
Yeah, I that might be as part of it. It also probably isn't good enough. But no, it's fine. I mean, we have other things we're doing right now. Other people are going to reach out to. It's like expect to have a lot of rejection.
I feel like your initial goal has been met. I remember when you first started this, you said, I just want this to like make some ripples, and you were like, and if this does nothing, then I might move. I might consider leaving.
Yeah.
I feel like this is enough for you to at least stay out here.
Exactly.
Just like,
there's enough there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you've won. I feel like you're like, well, I won already.
Like the first step is like there, I feel.
Like you met your very base goal where you're like, anything after this is a complete stroke of luck.
Sinead O'Connor was the musical guest, and she bailed too. I mean, I hated Andrew Dice Clay until I started doing stand-up. See, that's why, again, I was woke in 1990. I
still love you. We're still doing the shows. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Good times.